All right, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about the lateral raise. So we're going to talk about what it is, why you should be doing it, how to do it, how to improve your technique, and which muscles it's going to be working. So the lateral raise is a classic exercise that is going to be absolutely essential for building a proportional and aesthetic physique. It really is important. Squat, bench, deadlift, from a muscle building standpoint, all of these are to a certain extent not necessary. But the lateral raise, it really cannot be replicated. In terms of the muscles that are going to be used, this is primarily a side delt exercise. However, the rear delts and the front delts are also absolutely going to be triggered as well. Plus, the upper back is going to get a lot of involvement. No matter what you do, the upper traps, the mid traps, and the lower traps are all also going to get some stimulation. Plus the rotator cuff and the rhomboids. Plus, I guess, a little bit of forearms because you have to hold on to the weights. But typically speaking, it's going to be shoulders and upper back. In terms of your technique, you can use a little bit of body English, a little bit of cheat, but typically speaking, you want to keep strict. One way to keep even more strict is going to be kneeling on the ground. To a certain extent, this means that you can't get the hips as involved as you otherwise could. So this is going to keep you a little bit stricter and keep the hips out of the movement. So if you want a little more isolation, kneeling on the ground can be a good option. In terms of visualizations, mostly I'm focused on pushing out rather than lifting the weight. If you focus on lifting the weight, you're probably going to use a little bit too much upper trap. You're going to be shrugging up. You're just going to try to move the weight. You don't want to move the weight. You want to activate the proper muscles. You can also sit down for even stricter form. And again, push out and try to activate that side delt. You also might notice that my arms are slightly bent. This is what helps me personally feel my side delt. Maybe you want to keep straighter arms. It's something that you'll have to feel and it's going to be somewhat individual. Again, whenever I do an exercise tutorial, all of the sets are real working sets. So they're using, wait for it, real weight, and it's also a real effort. So this is just part of my workout that I'm sharing with you. In terms of sets and reps, I would keep the reps fairly high. So 12, 15, 20. I'll even do sets of 30 sometimes. Just really pump the delts up. They respond well to metabolic stress, and you don't need to do low reps. I've seen some plans on bodybuilding.com with sets of 3 in the lateral raise. That is not going to be effective and might be dangerous as well. So keep the reps on the high side. In terms of volume, you can definitely do a lot of volume. I would say do multiple sets close to failure. So it might be 5, 6, 7, 8 sets per workout multiple times per week. That is really what it's going to take to get your delts to grow. I would say they're a good body part for me because I train them in the right way. So let's talk about some mistakes. One I see is keeping the front delt up. So if you externally rotate, the front delt is going to be on top, and especially if you lean back, it's going to be all front delt. Whatever is on top is going to get worked. So if you lean forward slightly, and you can see that contraction in the side delt. If you cannot see your side delts or your rear delts in the mirror, you are probably working something else, something you shouldn't be. If you're shrugging up, again, that's going to be a lot of traps. Focus on pushing out, and you should see a little bit of a dimple in your side delt, especially if you're lean. Again, there's going to be a lot of upper back involvement, as you can see here, and this is to upwardly rotate the scapula. So if you have weak lower traps, if you have weak mid traps, you might actually have some issues here. So the solution is going to be doing more face pulls and lightening the load and using strict form. On the other hand, using a little bit of cheating is going to be completely okay. You can see I'm still starting with the delt, finishing with the delt, and I am certainly feeling this in my delts. Even though there's a little bit of body language, body English, it's okay. You can cheat a little bit as long as you know what you're doing. Here are some other mistakes. One is going to be heaving the weight. This is cheating too much. If you're using like 25, 30, 35 kilos, which I'll admit I've done in the past, it's not going to be as effective. Another one is going to be raising the weight too high. So you should be raising around parallel. If you're going above parallel, it's probably because you are upwardly rotating your scapula too much and you're using too much front delt. Another one is going to be partials. Now you can do partials with heavy weight. This can be very effective, but it's a different movement. It really is a different movement, and you should be doing the basic lateral raise most of the time because it's going to be more effective. The hardest part of the range of motion is at the very top, so if you're avoiding that, you're not going to get as effective of results. Another one is leaning forward too much. You can see my side delts and my rear delts, which is good for activation, but if you're leaning forward too much, it's going to be too much rear delts. Plus, it's going to put stress on the lower back, and it's just not going to be as effective for the area that you want to target. So by using this exercise along with heavy pressing movements, you can absolutely develop that 3D delt look naturally. A lot of people say, like, you need steroids to get shoulders or traps. No, okay? As long as you train intelligently and progressively, you can absolutely develop a nice pair of Boulder shoulders. So let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. Happy to help. If you're content with my content, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace!